Hi, tonight on Beyond the Words,
We're going to be talking about the 10 things a man can do to make his woman feel like she's a priority. So let's get to it. Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Beyond the Words. I'm Lon.
I'm Lisa.
And this is Rufus the Doofus. And this is a show where we talk about faith, family, and relationships. We give you some insight into our own personal story and give you some ideas, some things that we have discovered can help you strengthen your relationships. But before we jump into our topic tonight, I want to invite you, if you haven't already, at the end of the show, go over to our YouTube page and click subscribe. Click that subscribe button, click the like button, and let us know what you think. Share it with all your friends and family, and help us grow. Yes, that's absolutely right. Also, we would love to hear from you. You can connect with us by just simply sending us an email. You can email us at Lon and Lisa at GoBeyondTheWords. That's Lon and Lisa at GoBeyondTheWords.com.
Don't pass out. Deep breath.
And we, as always, it is a privilege to be with you guys here tonight. And yeah, what we're talking about tonight is the 10 things that a guy can do to make his woman feel like she's a priority. And why is that important?
Because if you don't, then
she gonna leave your butt. She gonna leave your butt.
Is that what happens?
That's what happens sometimes. Absolutely. No, well, we just, it's really easy when you're dating, when you're courting,
right?
To jump in and everything's new and fresh, and you want to learn who the other person is, and so
right. Yeah.
I know from a guy's perspective, it's like you're thinking about them all the time. You're wanting to talk to them hours upon hours on the phone. You'll do little things like, show up and put little cards or notes or something, in the car, or somewhere where the other person would find it.
Right.
But then once the newness kind of wears off, especially if you go that route of getting married, and once you tie the knot, it's a little easier to kind of let those things kind of slide, right, because you kind of get in a roll, right, just kind of a going through the motions kind of thing.
Now that you've got them,
you've got them, hey,
I'm done.
It's whatever.
Right.
It's whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight.
Right.
But before we get into that, all of that, we've got an icebreaker question that we put out on our Facebook page.
Right.
And so we'd like to ask you those questions. And the icebreaker for tonight, the question is...
Choose 3 words to describe yourself.
Choose 3 words to describe yourself. How would you describe... I'm like full of energy tonight.
No, you're scaring me a little bit. It's like you're dancing. You're just like ha 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 ha.
Well, we were practicing dancing last night, and so now I'm all ready to go.
Yes. And that's exactly how you dance. You're exuberant.
I'm exuberant?
Yes.
I can be that way sometimes. Anyway.
He's an aggressive dancer. It's a little bit scary.
I'm very rigid.
But exuberant.
Okay.
Are these your 3 words? Rigid, exuberant.
Rigid, exuberant, and...
aggressive.
Aggressive? Am I aggressive?
Yes, because you eat chicken on the bone.
It's all because I eat chicken on the bone.
Yes.
Yeah. We heard a story once, somewhere, a rumor, that people who eat like wings and chicken with the bone end up being a little bit more aggressive.
Right, because they make the face like this, and that makes them more aggressive.
Like that?
Yes.
Is that how I look?
Yes.
Well, anyway, I don't know if I would use those 3 words, but okay.
No, what 3 words would you use to describe yourself?
I'd say creative, reflective, and kind. How about that? I hope I'm kind. I try to be. Would you concur?
I would concur.
Thank you, doctor.
I don't even know what that means.
What 3 words would you use to describe yourself?
Short.
Well, okay.
That's the first word that...
But that's like, that's relative. See, short, in order to use that word, you have to be next to someone who's really, really tall.
No, not necessarily.
But it's a relative term. It's relatively humorous. I don't know.
Humorous would
Humorous?
be... Yes.
Yes, I would agree with that completely.
You would concur?
I concur. Yes, Dr. Linton, I concur.
And... I don't know. What would be my 3rd word?
I would say spontaneously creative. I don't know if that's really it's the closest thing that comes to mind. You can tell stories. Like, you can just pull stuff out of thin air and just be making stories up, and and that was hard for me to kind of catch hold of.
Yes.
Because you would ask me,
right.
Like I would ask you, how was your day today? And you would say something like,
it was fantastic. I met these 3 people. There was a juggler, a gymnast, and a rhinoceros man. And they gave me $1 million, and we went off in a jet, and it was fantastic.
Right.
And then you'd be going...
And I'd be like, are you kidding me? And then you would ask me...
And then you'd say, I drove in a car, and it had 3 wheels. Not really.
Yeah, not really. It had 4 wheels. I would say something like, I went to work, and I did some stuff. I typed some words on a computer, and that's it. So I've learned to embellish a little bit more.
Right.
I hope, anyway. That's what I think. So what are some of your words, the words that you guys think you would use to describe yourself?
Oh, insightful. Thank you.
Okay, so Davina says loving, kind, and prayerful. That's awesome. I'm not sure if that's Rita or Drew.
Well, they're both awesome.
But they're both awesome, so that's awesome. And Ryan's watching, and he would consider himself Tom Brady.
No.
Now, Ryan, you know how your mom feels about all of that. Lisa is insightful.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Jason's words are saved, committed, and fun. Would you concur?
Well, fun. I don't know about that. He needs to be committed.
He needs to be committed.
No, I would concur.
We jest.
Yes.
Actually, Lisa worked with Jason a while back, so he's a good friend of ours. And glad you're watching, Jason.
Yes.
Anyway, that's all the comments that we have. I think... Nope, there's one more. Let's see. Drew says he's sexy, macho, and suave. I would also add modest to that. I concur with you.
Yes.
Absolutely. I would concur with all of those things. Okay. That's awesome. Thanks, guys, for playing.
Is that Drew with short hair or long hair, though?
That's a good question. Okay, so I had a thought, but I didn't have time to put them all together, so we may do that game next week.
Okay.
But I do have something that I want to show. Okay. Because a few weeks ago I was on Facebook and I happened to see a meme, and I thought it was quite insightful. And I couldn't find the meme, so I just grabbed a picture.
Okay.
But I'm gonna show you guys a picture, and I want you to tell us what's wrong with this picture. Okay, you ready? Okay, there's the picture. What's wrong with this picture? Why do I have date night, dance night up there? That's from last week.
I like it.
Okay. Does anybody have any ideas what is wrong with this picture?
It's not us.
Well, that's not necessarily wrong. Can you guess?
Yes, I know.
Do you know what's wrong?
I do. Can I say it?
Wait, give him just a moment. Well, we'll give you just a minute more to ponder it. There might be a delay in the thing. So, what?
Yeah.
See, Drew and Rita got it right. Here, I'll let them answer. The chick should be on the inside. Absolutely.
He's about to push her out in the road.
That's exactly what. And that was the meme that I saw on Facebook.
Yeah.
It was a meme that just said, what's wrong with this picture?
Yeah.
And it was, but it wasn't on a sidewalk. I think it was, it might have been on a sidewalk, or it might have been like in a parking lot. Mm-hmm. And I know every time we go somewhere, we're in the parking lot or we're walking down the street.
Yeah, I always put him on the inside.
She always puts me on the inside.
I have to protect you.
I usually take the outside.
Right.
Unless you're on the wrong arm, right? and then if you're on the wrong arm, would you still let me
difficult.
Be on?
Yeah, no, usually you're almost always toward traffic.
Yeah, on the outside. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's just the way I was raised. Right. I was raised to be the protector.
Right.
To do whatever I can to protect you. And so the way of chivalry is, opening up car doors and doing things like that, or opening up the door for a lady. When a lady approaches a table, if you're sitting, you stand. Those types of things. Those come with Southern hospitality. Yes, absolutely. Excuse him. Did you guys hear that? Rufus, say excuse me.
How rude.
Okay. Yes, so let's jump into our topic, and we'll go through. These, again, are the 10 things a man can do. I'm getting all choked up. Pardon me. The 10 things a man can do to make his woman feel like she is a priority. Pardon me. Now, these are only 10 things. There's probably a lot more, and you can kind of jump in at any moment and say, I agree with that, or no, maybe not. But hopefully I got them right.
Okay. Can I hit you if you didn't?
Yeah. You can.
Yes.
Okay. So, number 1 is spend your most valuable resource on her, and that is your time. Every person has exactly the same number of hours in a day. We're each given the same amount of time, and it is our most precious resource. And so when you, I see Davina's watching. When you give her your time, you're giving her your most precious resource.
Absolutely.
And I'm not talking about giving her the leftover time.
Right.
You know, it's like, well, if I have a few minutes left at the end of the day, well, then I'll sit down with you and chat or whatever. You know, it's no, you make an intentional effort to spend time with her.
Right.
So that's number one. You want to read number two?
And that should be undivided time.
Yes. Thanks for saying that, because that's really, really important. Because I know we've been in situations, and I've done it. Okay, I admit I've done it. You know, where we're sitting on the couch, and maybe the TV is going, and you're trying to tell me about something, and maybe it's not like the world is ending or anything like that. It might be just something, but she wants your undivided attention. She doesn't want you to be sharing, you with your phone or Facebook,
right?
Or if a game is on, it's no, turn all that stuff off, look each other in the eye and listen, and talk.
Right.
Yeah. So important.
But you've gotten really good about, if I'm telling him a story or something, he will put his phone down and give me that undivided attention.
Or
that's important.
I know there's been a couple of times where we've been watching something, or I've been watching something, and you sit down on the couch and you begin to tell me something, and if I feel like my attention is too distracted,
right?
I'll either pause what I'm watching or turn it off or something like that, so that I can give you my undivided attention. Absolutely. That's very, very important. Okay. We good? That good one? Yes. Okay, you want to read the next one?
Okay.
Okay, you read the next one.
Remember the little things.
Right. The little things mean a lot. I always say spouses should be students of each other.
Absolutely.
Be a student. Men, be a student of your woman, which means listen to what they're saying. Sometimes you guys might be, maybe you're on a date and you're window shopping, like sometimes we go out and we window shop,
Right.
We're not going to really buy anything, but, we talk about things, and you might say, ooh, I like that over there. Or maybe we're in the supermarket and you say, ooh, look at this candy here.
Right.
I love cherry sours.
Yes. Oh, so does Rufus.
Oh, but you're not having it. I didn't buy them for you. Yeah. It's really, really important. It makes her feel like you have really paid attention,
right.
and listened to her.
Yes.
If you pick up on those small little things,
right.
And she may not know that you're
Right.
tuning in.
Right. So when she comes home on Saturday after working, and there are cherry sours,
They're
it's
cherry sours.
very sweet.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Sitting on the table.
Yeah.
For her, and it doesn't have to be any big thing.
Right.
It's it doesn't have to be a huge diamond ring or a big fancy vacation or whatever. It can be those little small things. Those small things sometimes speak even louder.
Absolutely.
Because
Yes.
you big things, you expect somebody's going to remember or
Right.
or
Right.
or
Right. When it's your
remember.
birthday, you expect something, and it's Saturday after work. It means while they were thinking about things at work.
Absolutely. So that's really, really important. Men, remember the little things.
Yes.
Okay. Let's go on to number 3, which is call her in the middle of the day just because. Right? Now, I can't really, it's hard for me to call you because of the nature of your work.
Right.
So in those cases, I'll send a message or a
Right.
text or something.
Right.
And usually I'll try to make it just a little flirtatious. Hey, remember that time we were bear hunting and in Gatlinburg, and we were using Skittles as bait.
Yes.
So yeah, those little moments when you call, especially when they're not expecting it.
Right.
You know, I mean, who knows what kind of day she's having at work? Yeah. She might be having, you know, a horrible day or whatever, and she gets a text. She knows because you texted her or you called her that you're she's on your mind. Right. So that's very, very important and a good way to do it.
It is.
Next.
Ask her out on a date. Yes.
Yes. And we've talked about this in some of our other videos.
Right.
That when you get married, sometimes going out on a date or going out to eat, you know, the asking part sometimes eludes us because we get again we go through the motions. It's so easy to go through the motions, so we go, okay, well, what are we doing for dinner? Oh, we're going out to so and so because I don't have time to cook or whatever, you know. So we do that, and we get caught into that too.
Right.
But occasionally, it's really, really important to just take a step back and do something creative to ask your woman out on a date. You know, send her a card, or even earlier in the week, send her a text. Hey, what are you doing Friday night?
Right.
You got any 5s and 10s?
You have to do your eyebrows too.
Inside joke. Anyway, so ask her out on a date. Yeah. That's important. It's important to pursue. The whole idea of this whole thing is that once you get married, you still have to pursue each other.
Right.
Because that's part of the fun is the pursuit.
Right. Yeah.
And so it's really important to stay on that track and continue to pursue. Okay. Ready? Number 5. Give her spontaneous gifts or handwritten notes. You know, this kind of it takes some planning. Right. It takes time. Okay. Again, going back to that resource, that precious resource that's called time. You know, like there have been several times that I've been like super busy at work. But if I'm having to trek across town, like sometimes I have to trek across town, and I go right by where she works, right? So occasionally I'll pull into Walmart or wherever, and I'll pick out a card, or maybe I'll just leave a handwritten note and, you know, pop over there. I don't have to even go in to see you. I just like open up the car door and leave a Post-it note, you know, on your mirror or something like that. It's just those small little things that speak really, really huge things to let you know that you're important.
And that's really nice because sometimes I'll have a really bad day and I'll go and open the car door and there'll be a note there. And that's, you know, it's so sweet.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, next.
When something important happens, make sure she's the first one you tell. And
would you agree?
Absolutely, because you don't want to be third, fourth. You don't want to hear it from someone else, and you know you don't want to read about it on Facebook.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Yeah. So you want to know that when something happens, you were the first person that your spouse thought about.
Right. I mean, and maybe it doesn't have to be earth-shattering news.
Right.
It can be like, I got a raise. Okay. Hey, babe, guess what? I got a raise. You know, or whatever.
Right.
You know, it can be something really, really small, even though a raise is pretty big news. But always make sure that she's the one, the first one to find out about those things, because she wants to be She wants to be a priority in your life. Nobody wants to be married to someone and feel like they're, you know, kind of just getting the leftovers or you know, being second or third, you know, on the list.
Oh, is Rufus third?
It's okay, Rufus. Yeah, you are down at the bottom of my list. Yeah, you're down at the bottom. Okay.
I think he's done. Okay.
But he did a good job. Are you having to go back upstairs?
Okay. Whoops.
Uh-oh.
Whoops.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Everybody say bye to Rufus.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, she will be back. She will return momentarily. But we're going to keep on going. So let's go on to number 7. And guys, look, this is... If I had to pick one thing out of this entire list of things to do, this is it. This is the thing. Listen to her. So often it's easy to talk. You can get together, you can go out on a date, you can talk. She might tell you things, but she wants to feel like she has been heard. So it's really, really important for us as guys to let her know that we have heard, that we have listened to what she has said. Would you agree?
Yes. And you are very good at that. You always repeat things back to me. And if you don't understand something that I said or you want clarification, you always ask.
Mm-hmm.
You don't just kind of, okay. Anyway, so, and just kind of blow me off. You never do that.
And part of letting, I think that repeating those things back to you, things that you tell me, repeating those things back to you, it doesn't have to be word for word, but
right.
But repeating them back to you shows that you actually, you're listening, you're paying attention. You're not just, have that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, are you done yet? Oh my God.
Glazed over look, Yeah, so do that. Listen to her. Again, this is the number one thing that I would say out of all of these things. This is the thing you have to do.
Right.
All of these other things are important too, but if I had to pick one, and would you agree that would be the one?
Mm-hmm.
So definitely do that.
Yeah.
Listen to her.
Absolutely.
Okay, number 8.
Is that mine?
That's yours.
Oh, don't talk about other women's attractiveness. And don't
Oogle.
other women. Google?
Google? I didn't
Don't Google them
I didn't
either.
say Google.
Don't Google them.
But don't Google them either.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, not a cool thing.
No.
Not a cool thing. She wants to be the one.
Yeah.
And you deserve that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I will even go a step further that because we live in a day and age where sex is used like it's all over the place. Like you can't go to the supermarket without seeing stuff on the magazine rack.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and since guys are so stimulated visually, it's very, very difficult to shield yourself from that stuff. And I would say respect your partner even when they're not around. If you find yourself being pulled to do something to get yourself out of there, turn off the computer, go into another room where there's other people or whatever, just do whatever you can to because you want to respect your spouse.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay. Number 9. Number 9. Give her complete access to your phone, your emails, your web browser history, all of that stuff.
Absolutely.
See, when you, and I get it that a lot of guys won't do that because they're afraid of giving somebody else control. And
right.
And you do have to be careful, but when you give your spouse the power, I've heard it called the veto power. This is a little different than this, but the veto power is when a decision needs to be made, you have the power to say no, right? Doesn't mean you're going to say no all the time, but you do have the power to do that. But also, when you give her access to your phone or your emails, you have all of those passwords and you can see everything and there's transparency there, then there's no reason to distrust. But as soon as you start shielding, from those things, all of a sudden the wheels get turning and you start thinking, oh, well
Right.
what are you doing? I mean, or who are you talking to, or whatever, She wants to be the one that has the most power in your life.
Right.
Except for God.
Yeah.
God comes first, right? But okay. Do you have anything else to add to that?
No, I think you covered it.
Okay. Was that me or you?
That was you.
Okay, so you get the last one.
Okay.
All right, and we've talked about this.
Be chivalrous.
Be chivalrous. Is that how you say it? Chivalrous. No. Be chivalrous. What do you like for me to do?
Open doors.
Okay.
Carry me when it's raining.
Carry you when it's raining? One thing I felt really bad
when we're dancing.
One thing that I do feel really bad about, and it just this, was it this week? Was it this week that it snowed? Anyway, it just snowed.
Yeah.
It just snowed, right? And we had gotten up. I was getting ready for work. But you had to be at work before me. Now, usually, when it snows, I will get up and I may not shovel the entire driveway, but I'll shovel a path so that you can get.
Well, usually you clean my car off too.
Right,
Yeah.
right, and do those things.
Yeah.
But then
That morning you were just
leave
me alone.
I don't know.
Sleeping.
I was completely dead, and so I didn't do it this past time. But most of the time I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So little things like that.
And I was late for work for the first time. Or the second time ever.
Yes.
The second time ever.
I know that was a big thing.
That was a big thing.
Absolutely. Okay, so Davina has a couple
But it wasn't your fault.
couple of things.
It was the road's fault.
It was the roads.
Well, no, it was my fault that I was late for work. But the roads were really bad.
They contributed to the weather, and the roads contributed to.
Well, I take full responsibility for being late.
Good for
but
you.
The roads were very bad.
Good for you. That's because
Unlike other people.
We won't talk about other people. We won't talk about other people. Davina's got a couple of comments. Here, let's go back to this. Yes, and absolutely. When he saw that, well, really, it's the
sound.
It's the sound of the
Yeah. Anytime
the bag.
he hears that.
When he hears that,
he
goes nuts. Yes, and Davina also says, always pray for your spouse, and absolutely, that's also a big thing. Yeah, pray for your spouse.
And when I had surgery, you took such great care of me. It was absolutely incredible. Anything I needed. Well, and Ryan was there too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they both just took such great care of me. It was fantastic. I wanted for nothing.
Well, and we did things to try and protect you from you know who. The dog.
Not God.
Not God. The dog. Things like that, and tried to do things to protect you, and it's that protector part.
Yes.
And that
they were both chivalrous.
Yes, we were chivalrous. And that is that's it. Those are the 10 things a man can do to make his woman feel like she is a priority.
Yes.
Let us know what you think. We think they're a pretty good list. Do you have anything that you would things you might like to add to that list, or maybe I left out?
I think you did a great job.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So what are we doing next week?
Next week, we're going to talk about the 10 things a woman can do to make her man feel like he's a priority.
Absolutely. So join us next week. Again, we sure appreciate everybody tuning in, and especially with all the comments. It's great to have that instant feedback and to get your comments and things. As always, it's a privilege to have you guys with us. Well, let's see. I don't know. I'm kind of drawing a blank.
Lisa.
Yes,
Lisa.
yes.
It's
Hi.
nice to meet you.
Hi, it's nice
Your
to meet
hands
you.
are cold.
I know. I'm freezing down here.
I know.
Yes. So next week we're going to be talking about what the things that a woman can do to make her man feel like a priority. So we're going to talk about that. Hopefully we'll get some. I want to do a game next week.
Okay.
I want to do a what's wrong with this picture.
Okay.
So I think we're going to do that. We're going to come up with some pictures, and you guys we'll show the picture, and you guys tell us what you think is wrong with the pictures. Oh, that's good. I got to put this up there. That's awesome, Davina. Yes, absolutely.
Sweet.
That's our show for tonight, guys. Again, send us some love. Send us some messages. Email us if you like. Let us know how we're doing, and let us know what you think about our show. Give us some feedback, and also if you got any ideas, things that you want to see us talk about, or questions you might have for us about our own personal journey, don't hesitate to do that. Send us a text, send us an email, not a text, but a message. Sorry, a message on Facebook, or send us an email.
And
Yeah.
we're going to Florida March 6th. And we're going to have a gender reveal.
We're gonna find out if
Yes.
we're we're grandparents, but we
Find
don't
out
know.
if I'm a grandmother or a grandfather.
We're gonna find out if you're. Yes. I can't wait. I don't know which one you are. I don't know which one I am.
No.
We're having gender reveal. Anyway, guys, thank you again. And until next week, always say what you mean what you say, and live your life beyond just words. We'll see you next week, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.